Welcome to Vermontitude, a collaborative effort between Great Eastern Radio, the Brattleboro Reformer, and BCTV to bring you the stories behind the stories on the topics you want to learn more about. Because there's always more, so there'll always be Vermontitude. Hosted by me, Peter Fish Case. Welcome to Vermontitude. New episodes drop every Tuesday and can be found by going to Vermontitude.com, Reformer.com, Brattleboro.tv, and locally on Comcast Channel 1078. We come to you from our studios at the Innovation Box on Flat Street. I'm Peter Fish Case, and each week I cover the topics that are of concern to Windham County and the towns that reside within its borders. Joining Vermontitude today, Bob Audette from the Brattleboro Reformer. I guess we're going to do a little of a Reformer Roundup. There he is, waving to the camera. Good job. All right, let's get right into it. So Chelsea Royal just sold. I'm excited about this.
It sold a couple of months ago, but it had been for sale for a long time.
Right.
It's been empty for 9 months, right? Closed for 9 months.
Yeah.
So.
I think since the beginning of the year, I think the previous owner had basically said, if I don't have it sold, I just can't do it anymore. And I get that. Being in the restaurant business, not easy.
Todd and Janet did it for 32 years.
Yeah, long time.
They're semi-retired in Cape Cod now.
Yeah, so good for them.
So Bo Ford of Ford Panel in West Chesterfield, also of the Porch Cafe with Gretchen Hardy.
Yep.
And Dave Manning of Dave Manning Inc., two very successful businessmen, decided they missed their ice cream that Janet crafted by hand.
Yeah.
They said, whatever we do, let's reopen this ice cream shop, and then let's look at reopening the diner. We're not in any hurry, but we're going to get this ice cream shop open for the spring of 2024 so that Bo can have the Mayan chocolate and Dave can have the mint chocolate chip. And Janet has promised to share the recipes with them as well for all the ice cream. So people are pretty excited about that.
All right. Well, I mean, it's nice. It's this iconic thing that, if you know the history of the Chelsea Royal, it was like right on Main Street in downtown Brattleboro. They put it on they put it on a lift. They dragged it out to West Brattleboro. It sat there. Todd and Nancy Janet, kind of cultivated this nice vibe and this whole fun thing, and so it's a little bit of a hole in the soul when it had to close. So it's really good that it's reopening.
Yeah, and the diner itself, the building, you can tell it's been patched together over the years.
Yeah,
needs a lot of work. Neither Bo nor Dave want to be restaurant owners. They want someone to come in and manage the restaurant, but they're willing to do all the work necessary to make it operational again and to get it past all the licensing and all that stuff, because it's a big job and it's going to take a while, but they need a third partner who's going to be the restaurant person. Right. Yeah. So,
well, it's going to be big. I mean, having grown up in restaurants, I know it's not easy.
It's just an indication that they want to give back to the community as well as the community that's, gave them such good business for 20, 30 years, 40 years.
For sure.
Almost,
well, it's good. Let's jump over to the maple, what is it, Sugar Maple in Dover.
In Dover, yeah. And here's another couple. They're not local, but they had a home up at Mount Snow, and they sold it during COVID because they said we couldn't turn down the money.
Yeah.
There was a lot of COVID refugees.
Yeah,
and they had a summer home up there. They have 2 young girls. They sold the house, and they took the money and said, we really miss Vermont.
Mm-hmm.
So they looked at, they were looking around, and the husband, he goes on Zillow and saw that the inn was for sale. It's been for sale for a while. It was also known as Layla's Riverside Lodge after Gordon Ramsay renamed it. It was the Four Seasons, which was a copyright issue, the previous owner, but the place was falling in and Gordon Ramsay rescued it. The guy was able to salvage it for about 10 years, but it slowly went downhill. And this couple said, we really want to get back to Dover. They're going to continue to live in New York. They have a carpentry business down there that's a real moneymaker for them. But they've taken all of their life savings. Every cent they made on selling that house in Dover and all of their life savings, they've invested in the Sugar Maple Inn right on Route 100, and it is beautiful.
Yeah.
What they've done in there is just beautiful. I mean, it's hard to explain. I hope folks can go online to Reformer and reformer.com and see some of the pictures of what they're doing. They hope to reopen the kitchen, and they're going to have outdoor dining. I would really suggest if you have an opportunity, even just go drive up to Dover and take a look. It's very impressive, and these folks have done an amazing job.
Well, it's always fun when you have people who are coming in to kind of rejuvenate these old businesses and bring them back to a place where like the community and tourism can kind of come through and enjoy them.
Yeah. Yeah. And these people should get kudos because it's not an easy undertaking. I mean, and like she said, we've invested our life savings in this place.
Right.
So
since we're kind of jumping around to Sugar Maples and ice cream in West Brattleboro, there's a new ice cream shop in
West Chesterfield, right on Route 9.
Okay.
Highlander Gun Shop used to be in the building.
Oh, okay.
And it's been empty for a couple of years now. A couple from Winchester, New Hampshire, they bought a creamy cone in West Swansea a couple of years ago. Creamy cone had 52 years of operation, and they bought it. And they liked it so much that they decided they wanted to open another ice cream shop. So they're getting that one set up in West Chesterfield. They'll be making their own ice cream. They hope to be open here, I would say, within a week or so. And they're hoping to offer maple creamies, cider donuts, cider. They want to do some real fall-related events. They're even selling Christmas trees. So you're going to have ice cream right through Christmas there if you want. And again, here's a couple, they're both retired. One was a nurse, one was a police officer, and they're both retired and they're investing in their community. And even if you don't love ice cream, I'd say go out and say hi and say thank you.
Yeah, no, I think you make a really good point. I think business always goes where business is invited, so they open up their doors and that by then inviting you in. So go and see what they have, learn something. It could be something maybe you don't use today, but you could use tomorrow.
Yeah, and who doesn't like ice cream?
I don't know many people who don't.
I love
like
a cider donut dipped in a maple creamy.
You commit. You commit. Let's jump to Vermont apple season. All right. We all know that got off to a really tough start. Of course, Green
all
Mountain.
the orchards are struggling.
Yeah. So. But there's a little bit of an apple season going on as we start to approach the fall months. So tell us what's going on.
I know that most of the orchards were hit pretty hard, and they don't have a lot of apples to offer off-site. Mm-hmm. But I know that places like Green Mountain and Putney and Scott Farm and Dummerston have apples. They want people to come to the store. They want them to come out and get their apples, their cider. They have cider. Of course, they have the cider donuts.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. Scott Farm usually harvests 20,000 bushels, and you can see their apples up and down in co-ops, up and down the East Coast.
Right.
They only harvested 1,000 bushels this year because of the freeze. But all 1,000 bushels are available at the farm, and they're having a couple of special events coming up. And I apologize, but I think it's September 17th. They have folk dancing, and people can pay a sliding scale, $10 to $30.
Okay.
And all that money goes to Scott Farm.
Yep.
And then there's a big Orchard Aid thing coming up in October, which is all of the orchards in Windham County. There's a benefit at the Retreat Farm in October. There's going to be orchards. There's going to be music and dancing and all sorts of things. And all those profits will go to the orchards. I urge everyone to find out more about it and attend. Yes, absolutely.
If you need a refresher, there was that freak freeze that happened as we were starting to blossom, and it literally devastated anybody who has an apple orchard. So that they're producing any kind of fruit right now is amazing.
And let's be clear, it killed this year's crop. The trees are fine.
Yeah.
As long as we don't have another late freeze next year.
Yeah.
The trees are fine. They should be back to normal again.
All right, that's good. Vermont Country Magazine. This is a publication there.
A quarterly publication from Vermont News and Media. It's for all of southern Vermont.
And we've got Haunted Mountains.
Yeah, this we try to theme each edition, and this one's September, October, Halloween. Yeah.
Right.
So I wrote about the haunting of Glastonbury Mountain, Bennington Triangle. Some people are familiar with this story. In the 40s, 5, maybe 8 people, depends on who you're talking to, went missing. A couple of them were found. There was never the people that were never found, they never could figure out. The people they did find did turn out to be like exposure to the elements or health, but the people they never found, they could never figure out what happened to them. So their the story was spouted by Joe Citro. He renamed the area Bennington Triangle, and Joe's writes all about weird New England and stuff like that. I'd urge you to take a look at his website and his books as well. But he coined Bennington Triangle, and it's kind of a spooky area because there's a couple of old towns there that were thriving but are just ruins now. And that's also where Somerset Reservoir is.
Yep.
So, and they flooded that whole area. So people have talked about maybe seeing Bigfoot up there, and there's some indigenous folk tales about how the mountain is haunted. So I'd urge anyone, you can find this. I think you can find it for free. It might come in the newspaper today or this week. Give it a read. There's other articles in here too, especially about the blossoming cannabis industry. The food festival is coming back, and it's coming back to the Common this year.
Yeah.
As opposed to the KOA out on, it's not the KOA. Is it a KOA in Dummerston?
There is a KOA, but it's Campfires Campground, right?
So they're moving it to the Brattleboro Common. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and we're also teaming up with the folks from Black Mountain Assisted Family Living for Q for a Cause. There's a big barbecue competition going on that day.
Nice.
The Buddy Walk also happening all there, so it's all kind of going to be this nice meld of fun food and festival atmosphere for the entire day.
Cool. And this edition also has a listing of all of the craft breweries in Windham, Bennington County, what it's like to work on a farm stand. There's a great article on Vermont hard cider in here. Shirley Jackson and the Haunting of Bennington. Shirley Jackson, if you've read any of her stories, The Haunting of Hill House, and We Have Always Lived in the Castle, these stories will spook you. And she wrote these while she was living in Bennington. So this is a great magazine. I'd pick it up.
All right. There we go. There's that's what a Bob Audette commercial looks like. But it's a fun publication, comes out quarterly. What are we working on? Anything we can talk about?
Tomorrow it'll be in tomorrow's paper, but tomorrow night there's a online forum on fair and impartial policing.
Okay.
That's hosted by the sheriff and Nomas Polymigra.
Okay.
Who are calling for reforms to the state policy. The sheriff's concerned that some of those reforms would put them at odds with federal law. So they're going to have a 2-hour discussion. People are welcome to tune in. You'll be able to find the link online as soon as my story publishes later today. There's some concern about panhandling in Brattleboro. There's a petition going around asking that the select board make panhandling illegal. So I'm probably going to write a little bit about that and why passing a law to make panhandling illegal is not constitutionally protected.
It's a non-starter.
Yeah, but I also understand people's concerns about panhandling, and I always come back to, if you don't want panhandlers in your town, don't give them money. They'll go somewhere else. I know it's cold thing to say. Give money to the institutions that are helping homeless people. Don't hand out change, and people will stop asking for it.
All right.
That's going to be the gist.
That'll be the gist of it. All right. Yeah. Bob Audette, reporter from the Brattleboro Reformer. Thanks for jumping on Vermontitude today. Appreciate it. All right.
Thanks.
Take care.